Welcome to This Explainer. We spend a whole lot of time in pharma talking about the what and the how of quality assurance. But today, we're diving straight into the why. We're going to look at quality by purpose and figure out how to get beyond that daily compliance grind to see what actually drives excellence in our field. Look, think about your own career for a second. Over the years, people rarely remember every SOP they followed, every investigation they completed, or every audit they supported. But they always remember the purpose that made those efforts worthwhile. We don't hold on to the memory of the paperwork. We hold on to the memory of the impact. It's that overarching human mission that sticks with us long after all the administrative details fade away. Section 1. The forgettable grind, consumed by metrics. Let's be real about the day-to-day. Over time, it is so incredibly easy to just get swallowed up by the grind. SOPs, investigations, CAPAs, inspections, deadlines, metrics. It just keeps coming. It becomes this relentless, exhausting rhythm. Very few of us joined this industry because we had a burning, lifelong passion for writing corrective and preventative actions, right? This is the fatigue of the industry. This is the forgettable grind. Section 2. Behind every procedure, the human element. But let's zoom out from all those acronyms and sterile paperwork for a second. We need to transition from the mechanics of the industry to the living, breathing reality at the very end of our supply chain. Think about those routine actions. Every batch released, it's not just a signature on a document. It is a literal green light for a critical product to move out into the world, maybe onto a truck, heading straight to a pediatric ward. And every deviation investigated. When something goes off script, like a fridge going out of temp, and you're doing that meticulous, sometimes frustrating work to figure out why, you aren't just closing out a file, you're securing the integrity of the entire process. Every process improved. Those endless tweaks to a sterilization cycle or updating some clunky software interface, they absolutely matter. You're building a more resilient system layer by layer, so mistakes just don't happen down the line. And every risk prevented, catching a flaw before it ever has the chance to turn into an incident. All of these beats, the batch releases, the investigations, the improvements, the risk prevention, they are all building towards one massive, undeniable truth. It all has the potential to protect someone we will never meet. Just let that sink in for a moment. The tedious work you do on a random Tuesday morning under those harsh office lights is actively shielding an unseen life. The person taking that medication will never know your name, they're never going to see the paperwork you filed, but their safety, their health, and their future rests securely in your hands. These aren't just documents or batch numbers rolling off a line. Behind every single procedure is a patient, and behind every quality decision you make, there's a family, a mother, a father, a child, relying entirely on the guarantee of safe and effective medicine. That is the gravity of what we do. Section 3. Transforming routine work, paperwork versus people. So, how does this mindset change things? Well, it fundamentally alters the nature of our daily tasks. When we compare paperwork to people, the source material makes it so clear. Quality is not about the paperwork. Actually, scratch that. It's more like purpose transforms that routine paperwork into meaningful work. It takes the sterile administrative grind and injects it with life-saving significance. Section 4. Compliance as a consequence, the ultimate shift. The very best professionals in this industry never, ever lose sight of why they do what they do. And when you keep that focus, we hit a really crucial concept: consequence. When purpose drives quality, compliance becomes a consequence, not the destination. If your only goal is just to pass an audit, if compliance is your final destination, you're going to be exhausted, and you'll probably miss the bigger picture. But if your destination is patient safety, if your goal is protecting that family we talked about, then strict compliance just naturally occurs as a byproduct. It becomes the natural consequence of genuinely caring.
Which brings us to this absolutely fantastic quote from the source material. Quality begins with compliance. Excellence begins with purpose. This right here is the heart of today's explainer. Anybody can achieve baseline quality by rigidly following the rules. But to truly achieve excellence, to elevate your work and your whole organization's culture, you must be driven by purpose. Purpose is what takes you from doing the bare minimum required by a regulation to doing what is absolutely right for the patient. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this provocative question to reflect on. What inspired you to pursue a career in the pharmaceutical industry, and what continues to motivate you today?
Seriously, take a second to think about your own journey. Cut through the noise of the SOPs and the metrics and reconnect with that core purpose. Because remembering why we entered this field is step one toward achieving true excellence. Thanks so much for exploring this with me today, and I highly encourage you to carry this mindset into whatever task awaits you next.